Hey friend, Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com, and today I gotta make a clear point about where 80% of your mix's sound comes from. Beyond the obvious that your mix will only ever be as good as your recording, and that is so simply said but so hard to pull off when we record junk and we hope that somehow by mixing it we can turn it into something amazing, and you've discovered that. But let's assume for just one moment that you've got well recorded tracks as good as you possibly can do in your studio and you're proud of them. When it comes time to mix, where is the mix? Meaning, when you think of something being mixed versus not being mixed, do you know where most of that sound is happening, where most of that legwork happens? It's not in your fancy plugins. It's not in fancy mix tricks. It's in two simple things: EQ and compression. I've said it for 6+ years now of making these videos, and I'll continue to say it because it's so helpful if you let it be true to you that EQ and compression is where 80% of your mix comes from. Okay, so today I wanted to just give you another example. I'm just going to pull open a session here that I did a mix of with literally only an EQ and a compressor. Okay, literally only one stock EQ and the stock Pro Tools compressor. So not even different types of compressors or different types of EQs, literally just one of each. So just literally two plugins, and I did a mix on pretty much all the tracks, a little compression on the mix bus, and that's it. That's all that's going on. The mix is not finished. There's no ambient effects. There's no creative effects. There's no real automation. There's just the static balance that I created with volume and pan, and then the EQ and compression. And all I want you to do is just listen to how far a mix comes from raw track to where it's at with just these two tools. So here's the mix raw. Sticks and stones, I'm tearing me in two till you start breaking me down. And here's the mix with EQ and compression only. Sticks and stones, I'm tearing me in two till you start breaking me down. All right, massive difference. More clarity, more excitement, more energy, a fuller sounding mix, probably a more average volume. The peak volume is about the same, but now you've got more average volume as more tracks are consistently up front than just here or there on a peak. That excitement of a mix is coming together with just a stock EQ and compressor. So let me press play, flip the EQ and compression on and off periodically, and just listen to what you notice happen in the mix, and just hear how a mix comes together. I know it's not finished, but it's 80% of the sound of the mix with just these two tools. Sticks and stones, I'm tearing me in two till you start breaking me down to my bones, and fill me with spirit, sword, shield, and armor. Sticks and stones, I'm tearing me in two till you start breaking me down. Okay, very, very drastic, very, very obvious, and that's my point today is I'm not doing anything special. There's nothing special or interesting happening in this mix. It's purely basic stuff like high-pass filtering things that need to be rolled off, carving out stuff that's a little too woofy, finding some complementary EQ on the guitars, okay? It's compression. It's taking like an acoustic guitar that's getting buried because it's just strummy here or there, and doing a little bit of light, slow attack compression on it so that it cuts through and it's the quieter parts are pushed up a little bit more, so you feel the acoustic guitar more consistently. It's basic mix bus compression, doing a dB or so of gain reduction on the loudest peaks. I mean, it's really subtle, simple stuff. And this is nothing new if you've been a Recording Revolution follower for years and years and years. I will beat this drum until I die, because this is where your mix comes from. And I want you to get an amazing sounding mix, and I want you to be looking in the right place. Yeah, there's a lot of other things that go on in mixing, but I'm telling you, 80% of your mix, the core of the tone and the balance and the energy and excitement in your mix, comes from your EQ and compression decisions. So with that, think about how much time you spend in a mix EQing, compressing versus other stuff, and think about where you're going to get bang for your buck, and think about, do you understand EQ well, and do you understand compression well? I've got a lot of resources on the blog. They're all free. Just, search here on the YouTube channel or on the site for EQ and compression, but just get schooled on those tools, man. If you want to spend time on two tools, learn EQ, learn compression, learn musical EQ and compressing moves, subtle moves, and find out how a little bit chipping away here or there on track to track and a little bit with compression track to track can add up to a drastic result. I just wanted to encourage you with that today. Again, pretty simple, nothing new. But mixing is pretty simple and nothing new if you're doing the right things. And that's why I'm here, to help point you and myself back to the basic truths that we need to hear when we lose our way. Hope that helps and encourages you a little bit today. Play around with the mix this week and just do a stock EQ and compression only mix. I'd love to hear your results if you do that. Just take a song, wipe it out, and just do it from scratch with just one EQ, one compressor. It can be your favorite one. It doesn't have to be stock, but just to sort of prove a point that you don't need much to get a good mix. And let me know your results below the video. Also, subscribe if you like the videos, if you find them helpful. That way you'll know when the new videos are out. And if you want even more free mixing training sent your way, join the mailing list. I got a whole video series I'll send you that'll help you get better mixes in your DAW of choice. That's it for me today. Have a great rest of your week. Make some great music, and I'll see you on another video soon. Take care, friend.